philosophical argument.
Even for a philosophical argument, you need some principles.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your understanding of God?
So
Let's start with that.
No.
Because I think what you're doing is you're coming from your understanding of God and you're trying to juxtapose that on Islam.
No.
I'm telling you in Islam.
I'm asking this.
Yeah, go on.
Which is, if you have God, which is before all other causes, and God then causes creation.
Yeah.
Where does that creation reside?
So the creation is part of the time and space, which is also creation of Allah.
Is also creation.
Yes.
Of Allah. And but Allah is separate to that creation.
Allah is not part of the creation, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. So if there was only Allah,
yes,
as there was
at one time,
At one time, in fact, before space.
Yeah, before the creation, yeah.
Before the creation,
yeah.
And then Allah creates a creation.
Yeah.
Outside of Allah, but Allah is absolute. He can't create something outside.
Yeah, but when Allah creates the creation, why would you say this is inside Allah?
Well, I'm saying the opposite. Is how does He make it outside of Allah?
I just want to make a point. When you say outside of Allah, you already impose space.
Exactly, yeah.
But we are saying when Allah is there,
I just want you to explain it.
He transcends space and time.
No, I know that.
So what we're saying,
but He's created space and time.
Exactly.
So where does that space and time go?
It's still there.
See, my argument.
It's still there.
Hashim, my argument is that actually this is all part of.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's like you're saying. So he's already thinking of a plane. Let's say this is space, and Allah is existing somewhere in the corner there, and then he has to create.
No, absolutely the opposite.
So where is Allah before the creation, according to your understanding of Islam? Where do you think Allah is?
Allah is just is.
Exactly, without space and time, right?
Where?
So when He creates something, yes, He creates space. Do you understand? He creates space.
Where does He create that?
Like I said, space itself is a where. That is the where.
But
the space itself is the where.
Just are.
Who is the only are?
If there is one.
One what?
Everything.
No. That's your worldview. That's your worldview.
No. One power.
No. If there's only one, there's one Allah.
Okay. You name.
If there's one Allah, He's able to create space. That answers your question about where.
Does He create?
Wait. No, sorry, what's the name? I forgot your name. John.
It does. It
does. Okay. So what is space to you then? Tell me. What do you understand by space?
Well, no, you're asking me.
I'm asking you a very valid question. What is space?
I'm asking the question.
No, but you need to understand what I'm saying.
How does Allah, who is everything?
No. We don't see everything.
Okay, all power.
Yes.
All power.
Absolute power, yeah.
Absolute attribute. What are the attributes of Allah?
99 of them. You want me to list them all?
The main
is first, He's a creator.
Yeah.
Yes. He's Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahim means the merciful, the most gracious. Yes. He's someone who's
more about his power.
Yeah, He's as-Samad. That means He's eternal and He's not dependent on anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. He's one, obviously. He's oneness.
Yeah.
So these are He's and He's
oneness.
Unlike any of His creation.
Oneness.
He's unlike any of His creation. As well.
So He's one.
Unique oneness.
Unique oneness.
The word ahad in Arabic
There can
language.
be nothing before He created. There can be nothing else but Allah.
Yeah. So Allah is uncreated. He's the uncreated, uncaused.
Yeah. We got that bit. We got the uncreated.
So which bit you don't get?
What I'm asking about is that the state of Allah is there is just Allah, being Allah, God.
Yes, He's independent of the creation.
Independent of the creation. Yes. And then in that beingness, He creates the universe, the world, whatever.
No, not in His beingness.
No.
By His power as a creator.
Of His beingness.
Yeah. Apart from His being. Apart from His being, He creates space.
Yeah.
And in that space, He creates His creation.
So
I can't get any more clear.
No. But in the infinite Allah, to create something in the same argument as contingent.
But Allah, I told you.
This is the Kalam cosmological argument regarding infinite and eternal. How does? I mean, you might ask me questions to try and explain it, but actually, I'm asking you the how to explain it, which would be helpful for you.
You believe the only explanations are answers? No, only answers. Questions also help.
I think I've been more than clear. I think.
No. But
I said He created the creation outside Himself.
Outside, how did He do that?
Well, by His power of creation. So to create, by his power to create.
No, creation.
He's Al-Khaliq, which means he's able to create.
Creating isn't the issue that I've got.
What is the issue then?
It's not the creating.
I think it's the space.
Creating it outside of himself.
So for you the issue is the space, right? Am I right?
Outside of himself.
John, the issue for you is space. Am I right?
It's
the space itself is a creation of Allah.
Yeah. No, it's not the space that
I think it is a space in your case.
Okay.
That is what you're trying to comprehend, because you're saying if Allah is the only being, yes, where did he create space? Am I right?
Create himself. I'll tell you how.
Am I right?
So say you've got a swimming pool of water.
Yeah.
And that is no longer a swimming pool, as in having the walls, the floor, or the surface. It's infinite. It's an infinite amount of water. Yeah.
Then it's not a swimming pool.
No, I know. I've
Very bad analogy.
Topologically a swimming pool into infinity.
Okay, infinite swimming pool.
Infinite water.
Okay, infinite water. Yeah. And
water.
Yeah.
So. And say the different kind of thing, that this water is God. Where does this, and has the power and attributes of God, where does that God make a space for space?
You see what I mean?
Where a question of space?
No, wait. Did I not say his problem was space?
Yeah. Location, not space.
But you're not using semantics. It's just semantics.
No, well, come on.
Okay, can you show me any location that, wait, show me any location that's not space. Go on, John.
What's that?
Show me any location that's not space.
A location that's not space. I don't understand the question.
Which means you're using semantics. So every location is a space, and every space has a location in it.
No. So okay, it's not semantics. I'll tell you why I distinguish the difference. It's
okay, define location.
Yes, location is an indices of where something is. Space could be anywhere. It's not location.
Can a location exist without space?
But that's not the.
That is exactly what he's saying.
No, I'm saying that. No. These are totally.
John, your main issue is space. I've already figured that out.
Location of it.
Whether you use the term location or space,
well,
yes,
because just use location.
No, but
okay with
when you say location, a location is a particular space. A particular space.
A particular.
Is that more better understanding?
Yeah.
Okay, explanation. So, for example, if I put in my GPS a particular postcode, it takes me to a particular location.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? But if I just said on street, I don't know.
To a space.
Yeah, say street Prince of Wales or something like that. Then it'll take me to the street, but not a particular location on the street. You see what I mean?
No.
Yes. Now there is a specific location, and there is a more general space. Which one is the issue with regards to God creating?
For me, it's about where outside of his infinite beingness, where he would locate a creation.
Anywhere, he can choose. Yes, it can be. If God wishes to create something, he can place it anywhere in the general space that he is creating.
I think you're assuming that God A is a physical entity.
I'm not.
B, there is something that you can comprehend his essence.
I'm not.
But in order for you to say that God is infinite in essence, what essence do you mean? It's not a physical essence for him to create. God is like a big physical essence. That's what you're assuming, I think. Is a physical infinite essence.
I think he's coming.
He's going to create no space to create anything. This is what you're.
So he's coming from the pantheistic worldview, which means it occupies all space. Am I right? Yeah. So you're coming from that worldview. We are saying that all that space itself is a creation. Yeah. I've made it very clear from the very beginning.
I understand what you're saying. That's not the. So the point I'm trying to make, we're not meeting it.
I think I am, but your worldview, because you're asking your question from a worldview of pantheism, which means everything that exists.
Kind of by the by. Actually.
No, it is because
by the by.
No, it's called a priori. You're coming from a presupposition. This presupposition of yours
with the a priori argument of God's attributes being infinite, eternal, and when before creating there is only God.
Can I ask you?
Wait, there is only God.
Sure.
Right? You might be able to answer this, but I think. I don't mind losing an argument or.
It's not about losing. It's trying to understand.
I do feel like it's an important thing to be clear about, if possible. Maybe it's not possible, but the point I'm saying is that you've got God being an infinite, eternal, having all these all-powerful attributes, and then you're saying that God creates, and I'm not questioning the creation. What I'm saying is that and maybe this is a way of arguing it, you can create within his eternalness, or he can create outside of his eternalness. And what I'm asking is, how does he create? Because if he creates outside of his eternalness, he is no longer eternal. He is bound by the thing that he's created. It's like, so if you put a ball in the swimming pool or the infinite water, now the water isn't in the ball. There is a boundary.
It's against space.
And then there's a boundary.
Space, yeah.
There's a boundary around that ball, which is
in and out a question of space, yes or no?
It is an argument to do yes or no. Is it in or out?
Yeah.
Because
you're saying you could
I would rather you explain this.
I think, John, what you understand by infinite God is that He occupies all space, all location. Hear me out. All location out there, all space out there. Is that what you're trying to?
No, there is.
What do you understand by infinite God? What do you understand by it? Because I said His attributes are infinite, if you remember correctly. Yes?
Yeah.
So, for example, God is all loving. That means the ability for Him to love is so absolute that we cannot comprehend. Yes? His love is not the love that we as human beings, all of His creation possess. So if you put all the love of all the things out there, yes, and if you place His love, it is like His love will be 99% compared to the 1% of the creation. You see what I mean? So when you talk about infinite attributes...
Sorry, could you repeat that last?
Like 99% would be the value of love of God, and 1% would be the value of the love...
Are you saying that's the case, or are you saying that's not?
I think there's a hadith there, isn't it? A similar hadith about the amount of love that Allah shows, or Allah has.
The mercy.
Yeah, the mercy of Allah. Mercy, love, like they are under similar, you know what I mean?
You're moving all these words together today. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah,
mercy,
so the mercy of Allah basically supersedes that of this creation. Even
by 100?
By 99%.
By 99?
Yeah, so it's a ratio of 99 to 1.
Yeah.
Is that more clear?
Okay.
Okay, good. So that's what I'm saying. When He says His mercy, one of His attributes, yes, is infinite, then we understand it in this sense. But what you're saying is that...
Can I just clarify that?
Sure,
now? See, what you're saying is that there is infinite mercy. He creates a creation, and 1/100th of the mercy that He had is now in the creation. Is that what?
No, not 100.
199.
So let's say 1%.
Well, it's not just 100th is 1%.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so let's make it easier. 1% is in the creation, and 99% is what He possesses.
Yes.
And the hadith actually says that He retains this mercy for the day of judgment.
The mercy that's in the creation.
No, the mercy that is with Him, the 99%.
The 99%.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's not infinite mercy that He's got now.
Well, infinite in the sense this 99% is just an analogy.
Well, you know...
It's an analogy, you know. I'm not putting a value to it.
Well, yeah, you are.
Well, it's an analogy.
It's a ratio. It's not an analogy. An analogy is something very different.
Okay, what do you understand by percent?
No, well...
You see what I mean? It's not exact.
No. It's a ratio. If you're saying that there's 1/100th here and Allah has got the other 99, that's not an analogy. That's a ratio.
Yeah, it's a ratio.
Now the amount of mercy that's in this creation is hard to define. But what we do...
That is 1%, we know that.
Yeah, but what we do know from the ratio is that that's 99...
Yes, 99%.
99 more...
What it shows is basically, this was an analogy given in the hadith. In the hadith is given as an analogy to show... I'm telling you. It's to show the amount of mercy that Allah has retained for the day of judgment. So if you divide the mercy of Allah into 100 parts, yes, we know that the humans and even the animals, yes, or the creation of Allah, like the other creations, they possess some form of mercy. So a human, a mother showing mercy to her child, is also from Allah. Yes, so this is bestowed on the creation. But He has retained for Himself the 99, the biggest, percentage of it.
I think this is exactly supporting my argument. So go ahead.
Okay, anyway, but this is to show you that when we talk about His attributes being infinite, being absolute, being eternal, yes, is to show you that these are attributes, the 99 attributes which Allah has informed us already about. But it doesn't say anywhere in the Quran or in the Hadith that when we speak about Allah being infinite, that He's someone who had occupied all space and everything that Allah created is within that space or within Allah Himself. I think which is your main contention, am I right? Is that your contention, right?
It's one of my contentions.
Well, that's something the main one.
The other contention then that comes from this 99% to 1%.
Yeah.
What about power?
Power is a different attribute.
Okay, but
yes.
How much does the
I don't think it tells us in the, there's no hadith. So we can only tell you what we have been informed. Nothing more than that.
So effectively what you're saying, and do correct me if I'm wrong, is that Allah has 100% of mercy and he puts 1% into his creation. And then, but he is not, that even though that's his attribute, he is not.
Oh no, he hasn't given his attribute to the, you know, there are certain things, like there's another hadith which says Allah created man in his image. Yes? Which means, many people say that this is the image. Some of them say that this is the image, means Adam was created not from a child who was born of his mother and then he grew up. He had a particular, form in which he was created. Because he wasn't born like a normal child is born from a mother's womb, which he has to grow up, get bigger, and then, So, but some others say that this is because certain of human characteristics are seen in Allah, like His love, His mercy, but the degree of love and mercy in Allah is different to that of the human beings. But anyway, I think the first view is more correct in terms of Adam's own image.
But that's
okay, so answering your question with regards to his attributes, so there are attributes that the human possesses, yes, but there are also, they might use the same name, for example, mercy, yes. So Ar-Rahman means the most merciful. This is an attribute only for Allah. But a man and a woman can also be Rahman in the sense that they are merciful as well to their children, maybe to their parents, yes. However, the degree of the two is different. Yes?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, and the argument within, say, a pantheistic way, is that that's cohesive, that this universe or anything outside of anything that can be imagined or is the sum total of everything. And it's infinite, and it's all powerful in itself. But what you're saying...
When you say it, are you taking it as something as a sentient?
Well, you know, I would see it as a conscious, sentient consciousness, yeah.
You think this entire universe has some form of consciousness?
That it is consciousness, I think.
What is the evidence for that?
Well, that's another argument.
So what matters is not consciousness?
I don't know.
But the issue, in a way, that I still don't get is that you've got somebody like Allah, or the Quranic understanding of Allah is that he's got infinite mercy, but actually now he's just got 99
No. You misunderstood what I meant. Allah did not give his own attribute to the people.
So why has he only got 99 now?
That is just to show you the analogy of the amount of mercy Allah has reserved for the creation versus his.
Reserved, exactly. That's exactly.
But that's not his attribute. The mercy given to the creation is not his attribute.
No, but now
his attribute.
99%.
Look, the hadith says that Allah created 100 mercies.
What?
Allah created 100 mercies.
100 mercies.
And He gave one of them to the creation. So now maybe that resolves the
so
misconception.
mercy is a creation, not an attribute of Allah.
He created 100 mercies.
So that's what I'm saying.
Can I finish on
Yeah,
that?
sure, go for it.
Okay, Allah created 100 mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy is something not to be measured. Mercy is not a physical thing that you say this is 1% of mercy, 2% of mercy. This is an analogy. This is an analogy.
It's an analogy, that's what I told him.
Given to us that Allah created 100 mercies. He placed one of these mercies in the creation that we use to be merciful with each other, and that mercy will be also back in the Day of Judgment with the other 100 mercies. So Allah is showing us His mercy in the Day of Judgment. He's not saying from my mercy.
Exactly. He did not share his attribute with the creation.
And I give you one of my 100 mercies.
So
I think this is what you understand.
Firstly, you said it wasn't to be counted, but you gave 100 of them. But the issue,
the attribute of Allah, not the ones He created. You're confusing both.
So you're saying that He's got the infinite mercy, and then He made another 100 mercies.
Allah created 100 mercies. What is mercy?
100 parts. 100 parts of mercy.
100 parts of mercy.
So there are only 100 parts of mercy?
For the creation.
The problem is if you don't allow me to say what I'm saying, obviously you will not understand what I'm saying. You tell me, answer my question, but when I speak, you interrupt me every 2 seconds, right? So what I'm saying is this. Allah's attributes of mercy is not the 100 parts of mercy that He created. What is mercy? Mercy is not a physical thing. You cannot yourself, bring the hadith here, it's better. You cannot yourself say that a mercy is a physical, tangible thing that you take a part of or you give. So Allah created 100 mercy. Why is this 100 mercies? I don't know. We don't know. It's not a physical thing. And then Allah gave, I'll finish now. And then Allah gave the creation one of these 100 mercies that they used to be merciful in Israel. So it's not His attribute. That's why I said it's not to be counted. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is that the mercy that, and this is why I was interrupting you, because, you know, I'm just trying to make it a bit more concise, is that are you saying that Allah has infinite mercy and then on top of that made 100 mercies?
This 100 mercies He made, He did not make for Himself.
I didn't say that. I'm asking you step by step.
Oh yeah.
Did
Allah
He
has
make...
infinite mercy. Allah created 100 parts of mercies. He gave one to the creation that we're using to
and where's the other 99?
The other 99 are still reserved.
He's reserved.
Reserved.
Oh, here it is.
Why would He need to reserve it?
Really
Okay, here it is. In Sahih Muslim, it is narrated from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, that the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has 100 parts of mercy, of which He sent down one between the jinn, mankind, the animals and the insects, by means of which they are compassionate and merciful to one another, and by means of which wild animals are kind to their offspring. And Allah has kept back 99 parts of mercy with which to be merciful to His slaves on the day of resurrection. This is in Muslim Al-Tawbah, I think that's a chapter 6908. Okay.
Okay. So my understanding of that surah is that hadith is that He didn't create 100 parts of mercy. He endowed this creation with one part of 100.
Yes, He has 100 parts.
No, but He didn't create them. He endowed. He has 100 parts. He endowed the creation with one, and the other 99 are for judgment.
Yeah, but one thing you need to understand is that He did not give His
That's
own.
a contradiction to what you said.
No, it's not, because I think it's just the way he was explaining it. The main point I think Muhammad wanted to make here is that His own attribute of mercy He did not give to the creation. Is that clear?
I don't think it's clear from that.
Well, it is basically. If you see, I think there's another hadith as well.
Allah is. I think it's. What did it actually say? Allah is 100.
Yeah. So what this hadith means, based on the scholars, is that Allah is more merciful than His creation. That's the main emphasis on this hadith, and that's the reason He says the wild animals are merciful to His offspring as well.
That's by the by when it comes to the.
But anyway, that's a key point. So going back to the question which you asked about if Allah is infinite, where did He create? Wasn't that your question? Your original question.
Issue,
yeah. So your main contention, I believe, is to do with the space, because what you're imagining is, when you say God is infinite, you're imagining that He should occupy all space. Am I right?
Not space.
Location. You want to call it location?
Just be Allah. Just be one.
Yeah. So where is Allah? If I ask you the question.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Hope this video was helpful for you. This may help others too, so please consider sharing, and we will bring more videos in the future, inshallah. So consider subscribing and you won't miss any. Jazakallahu khairan.